All right. Well, my name is Rick, and as I'm sure you know, there's someone behind me talking. I'm the guy with the best job for Sanctuary today, obviously. Making maple syrup. Looks pretty elaborate, but the process is simply taking the sap out of the trees and getting a good portion of the water out of the sap. That's it. Syrup's already in there for us. We looked in the buckets. There's so much water in there, it's kind of hard to imagine there's any maple syrup. But sure enough, you let it sit on a fire long enough, and it's going to look a lot different. As a matter of fact, you guys are here just in time for a draw, because I think we're done.
So how long do you keep it on there?
Well, when we start with fresh sap, which obviously at the very beginning of the season we do, it'll take us about 10 hours, depending on the fire, to get 1 gallon. But this is a continuous flow system, and I'll explain that in a second, but I'm a little concerned about temp here, and we are done. It's going to take a little bit at first. I have to be very careful about temperature. Now see, this doesn't look much like water anymore. I'm after a certain temperature, 219 degrees. At 219 degrees, I know I've got 66% sugar. I know I've got maple syrup, basically, at that point. So I keep track of the temperature in this very last channel, and when I'm ready, I'll just draw it off about 1 gallon. I will take this in the house. We put it through some, looks like industrial coffee filters, like white blankets, just to make sure we get anything out there that they're following the buckets.
Yeah.
Those little beetles love the sap. And then once it cools, we just put it right in the bottles. There's nothing that gets added. It's just getting that water out of the sap. You have to bear with me. I'm kind of doing things in reverse here today because I have to be very careful about the temperature. Like I said, 219 degrees. I've got good stuff. I've got maple syrup there. I go a few more degrees above that, and I'm going to start making candy because I'll remove too much of the water. A few more degrees, you fall asleep out here, and the next thing you know, you've got charcoal. Sweet-smelling charcoal.
Good for smoking.
Yeah. The evaporator is designed sort of in reverse of a wood-burning stove. Wood-burning stove, you're trying to heat a room, you're trying to heat your house. This is the opposite. This is designed to concentrate the majority of the heat that's being created into the pans themselves. So the way that works is up here we've got the firebox, all the wood's in the front. Down back, of course, we've got our draft. Wind blows over, draft gets created, it pulls those flames across the bottom of the pans. And actually, you can probably see in between the two pans right there, you'll see the flame going in that direction. Also, excuse me, another feature that helps speed this up is these are flat bottom. Well, I've been steamed. These are flat bottom pans, except these two channels in the back. They have these hollow fins that drop way down. That allows those flames to run down the sides of those fins, speed it up even quicker. For me, this is fun, but if this is what I did for a living, obviously, I want to get my job done as soon as possible. So, the sap, we store it up here in our holding tank. It, just by gravity, flows in on its own. The amount that's coming in is controlled by a float valve inside this pipe. Float in the back. So the amount of steam that's being released, the amount of water that's being released in the form of steam, is instantly replaced with fresh sap. You can actually see the trickle there. Travels through the 8 channels. Think of this as just one really long pan. I got fresh sap coming in one end. I got syrup going out the other. It's traveling in this direction here through the 8 pans. So I've got clear, almost all water up front, and then, like you saw, the finished product that's down in the back. Now, one other thing too I want to show you is this is a grading tool. This shows the 4 grades: grade A fancy, what's called grade A light, grade A medium amber, grade A dark amber, and a grade B. Obvious difference, color. This also has a lot more maple flavor than this does. This has very little maple flavor. But the sugar content's the same, so I could put this in something and sweeten it without overpowering it with a maple flavor. If you ever had maple candy, this is what they use. They use fancy. It doesn't have a lot of maple flavor in it. It's just a chunk of sugar with a little bit of maple flavor. This stuff here, this is loaded with maple flavor, but the same sugar content. So you want to put something on your pancakes, a few drops of this is good. This stuff here, you'd have to drown in it. It's not what we do, it's when we do it that determines the grade. Right at the beginning of the season, trees are just starting to wake up. Sap hasn't been moving around a lot yet. You get the fancy grade. It hasn't picked up a lot of minerals and malic acid, which give it the flavor and the color. But the sugar content, like I said, is still there. You get well into the season, this year will probably got a few weeks to go anyway, at least. You'll start to get darker and darker and darker product coming out of the trees, which will produce a darker and darker and heavier maple flavor product until you get all the way down to the end, which is we call it grade B. Absolutely aggravates me. If I get the time machine done, I'm going back. I'm going to find whoever put A and B on those, and I'm going to talk them out of it because we all think that there's something wrong with B, right? Everybody knows getting an A is better, right?
We have to move
not in this case.
I hate to interrupt you, but we have to move along.
If anybody has questions, hang back. Otherwise, we got some for you to taste outside.
We've got another group coming in. So